there's been big headlines, right? The Domenico's Bowl,
Yeah.
right? And probably even initially blown out of proportion. I mean, this became massive news. I mean, even the city, KRCG and KY3, they were doing stories on that. And so after our show came out last week, the Lake Expo came out with an article on Wednesday where the city of Osage Beach actually came out with a statement kind of doubling down saying, hey, they broke a ordinance and they were out of code. And so the story from Lake Expo, it looks like they say, hey, the sign is not grandfathered in.
Yeah, so here is the statement in full from the city of Osage Beach. It says, the city of Osage Beach wants to correct disinformation circulating on social media regarding a code violation citation against Domenico's on the lake. The bull itself is not a violation of the city sign code. The violations stem from the signs on either side of the bull, which are well in excess of the allowable size, and the unlicensed and inappropriate trailer the bull is attached to. So now they're saying it's not the bull, it's all the stuff around the bull. It goes on to say all businesses in Osage Beach are limited to a certain number and total square footage of signs based on the city's sign code, using a formula of the property's road frontage, square footage, and lot size. It goes on to say these issues were conveyed to the business on several occasions. The prohibited sign was moved to an adjacent property used as an overflow parking lot. However, it remained visible from a public right-of-way and not affixed to the property, making it an off-premise sign, which is also against the city sign code. So they're not backing down on this. They're still coming full forward on this, even though the PR on this is horrible for the city.
Sure. I mean, it's kind of wild. We even saw this week afterwards, Nathan Rennie put on Citizens for a Better Camden County, say he put a post gauging the locals of recalling Mayor Michael Harmison. He believed it would need 1,300 signatures, is what they claim, took off, and there was a lot of feedback. I reached out to Mayor Harmison on Monday to see, hey, like, this is getting out of hand. You didn't talk to me last week. You obviously aren't replying to me now, but I did happen to see that there's a recall, a question of that, and I just asked him, like, are you going to address this, or would you even consider resigning?
You mean a recall from him as mayor?
Correct.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There was a feeler put out on Citizens by Nathan Rennie that said it would take 1,300 signatures, is what they claimed. I don't know if that's true. It got a lot of attention, but I asked him that, and he said, hey, I don't respond to fake news. So whatever, I get it. Mayor Harmison, he's kind of backed up against a wall. He hasn't talked to us. He's not going to start now. But I did happen to listen to his interview on Monday on KRMS Morning Magazine with Tony Herman, and essentially said we're like a wannabe news network. But here's the scary thing. He's kind of backing away, saying we're just trying to do what's safe. On his interview, like I said, he referred to Facebook also as fake news. He said if you get on Facebook, it's fake news, which is weird because these are literally hundreds and hundreds of the mayor's constituents, like people that voted for him, right, that he's supposed to be representing. But he said the bull for many years was in violation and out of ordinance. They let it go for whatever reason. And then it was funny. He said, I realized over the weekend maybe my boat was out of ordinance.
Oh.
So he went up there and he moved it. By the time he got in Monday, it had hit the fan. He goes, and I needed to address it. He claimed the bull was gone for 6 months and a day and then showed back up. And the trailer that it was on was not in good condition. And so now it was time to enact. Now it's no longer safe, right? He also claimed that the city sent 3 mailings to Domenico's. And the fourth time, they got nailed and it got ignored and they got the citation. But do you not go pick up the phone and call the business, or like, if you're like for the business, don't you as the city go there and say, hey, like we've sent a couple, are you not getting these? But instead, they get fined in a citation. Interesting. Now, I'm not going to get into some of the personal mudslinging personally between Harmison and I and our text back and forth, because the people have spoken. It really doesn't matter what I think, and it really doesn't matter what anybody thinks. The people of Osage Beach, in overwhelming fashion, have been like, save the bull. This is bad. And so you can push back all you want, right? and you can say this is a safety concern, and even Tony Herman on Morning Magazine said, we should let the city and Domenico's figure this out. But the problem is the mayor right now has absolute power to make this go away. And for somebody who desperately, desperately needs a PR stunt or something in the public eye to work in his favor, I'd say take advantage of the Missouri Constitution, chapter 77.360, that said the mayor shall have power to remit fines and forfeitures and to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses arising under ordinances of the city. Right there. So you could make it go away. And when there's somebody that also called in yesterday in Morning Magazine that Tony agreed with and Mayor Harmison agreed with, that said the mayor has no power, literally, in these small municipalities. Well, it's the city administrator, the planner, and the code department all work under the mayor's discretion and his appointment, Missouri Constitution, chapter 77.042. That's not true. The mayor has power, and he can make this go away. But maybe I'm getting this all wrong, Chris. Like, maybe I shouldn't be all that concerned about the bowl in Osage Beach and what the city is doing with it. And maybe we should be thanking the city of Osage Beach. I mean, honestly, I think they're just concerned about our well-being and our safety, Chris.
Okay.
I'm so happy that we now live in a world where we can go to Domenico's without the fear of a rabid bull jumping off an unsafe trailer with retaliation and revenge set in his eyes to take out any carnivore that walks through the door ready to tear down the all-you-can-eat prime rib. That's got to be a very serious fear that luckily our elected officials are handling on our behalf. And hey, and if you won't join me in thanking them, you may be interested in looking at that recall that might be coming. And it wouldn't just be the mayor. There is a possibility they could recall the entire board of aldermen with the city of Osage Beach. And it may only take 1,300 signatures. I don't know how factual that is, but interesting. They doubled down.
That would seem to be a lot of signatures considering, I think, I'm trying to remember how many votes Harmison got to be mayor, but I don't think it took that many. It was like 300 or 400, right? I mean, you don't have to get that many votes in Osage Beach to become the mayor, so.
No, and I'll just say this, like, it really doesn't matter like what story we do or what stance we take on Cup of Coffee. Like, people see through Mayor Michael Harmison in the city of Osage Beach at this point in time. They've made their bed, and so now you just need to know that if a recall or something to have somebody removed doesn't take place, April is the municipal elections, and there's already about 3 or 4 names that I hear that'd be interested in running for mayor for the city of Osage Beach. And I'm not sure that Mayor Michael Harmison would rerun. I know he has his eyes set on the Missouri Senate. And as good as my joke about the rabid bull on the trailer was, I'll tell you one even better. Michael Harmison as a Missouri senator.